For most of my life, I was honestly kind of proud of skating by putting in minimal effort. I had an awful work ethic. I was cynical about everything in life, and I thought that I was smart because I was cynical. I honestly felt like people who were constantly putting themselves out there, working on little projects, joining clubs and teams and societies, were delusional. Delusional that their efforts were meaningful and would leave them with any kind of satisfaction in life. I realized looking back how toxic and unhealthy and counterproductive that way of thinking was. I was lazy and I would just sit back and think, well, of course I could do it if I wanted to, which I think is a very common comfort that people who have never really achieved anything give themselves. I also struggled with depression, and I'm realizing in retrospect that depression and unproductivity are a vicious loop in life. It wasn't until almost the middle of college when I decided to start making tiny improvements in my immediate environment, and then proceeding from there that I started to see an improvement with these things I'd always been struggling with. You start by gaining agency over your mind and your thoughts and your feelings and your immediate environment, working on being disciplined and tidy and having great personal habits. And then more and more you become a person who genuinely feels like they have agency over their lives and that the world is their oyster. But step one is admitting to yourself that you want to be a different person and that you want more out of life.